We called this press conference today to announce that we have filed charges against Alan Hruby for the death of his parents, John Hruby, Tinker Hruby, and Catherine Hruby. The investigation has revealed that on Thursday night, the 9th of October, in the early evening hours, approximately 7 or 8 p.m., Alan Hruby went to his house and murdered his 3 family members. The details that we have reveal the following. He parked in a neighborhood not far from his mom and dad's house. He went in through the back door, found his mother, shot her once. She fell to the ground. He then fired another shot. His sister was outside washing the car. She came into the house. He shot her once in the back. He stayed in the house, waited until his dad came home. When his dad came home, he fired a shot at his dad. His dad fell to the ground, and while he was on the ground, he shot him one more time. Alan then left the residence, took the firearm along with the video surveillance camera inside the house to one of the lakes here in Stevens County and disposed of the murder weapon and the recording devices. He left Stevens County, went back to OU, picked up his cellular device, and then traveled to Dallas, where he stayed in Dallas for the weekend for the OU-Texas game. He's been in custody since Monday afternoon. He has 2 charges pending unrelated to this for knowingly concealing stolen property, as well as an application to remove him from the delayed sentencing program for youthful offenders here in Stevens County. With that, I will open it up for questions.
Jay,
Scott?
I was going to ask, did he give you any idea why this? I know that he had pressing tickets out of Garvin County or another county that with the sentencing coming up on the delayed sentencing, and then a suspended license can mess up probation and all that. Did he give any reason they feel is getting cut off, or?
The reason that we were given for the murder of his 3 parents was that he was having financial difficulties. He explained that there was a loan shark company in Norman that he owed approximately $3,000 to, and he felt like if he murdered his mother, his father, and his sister, he would be the only heir to their estate, and that he would be able to take that money and go forward. He also explained that his mother and father had recently advised him that as far as his finances go, they were not going to allow a lot of money to come out to him anymore. They were going to cut him off.
Why were they going to cut him off?
Because they had had financial problems with him in the past. He couldn't control the spending.
They were going to cut him off regarding money they give him now or inheritance or?
Money they were giving him now.
Any idea, Jason, what he was spending all his money on?
Not at this time, no.
Did he have any help?
I'm sorry?
Did he have any help?
No. I believe that it was him and he acted alone.
Was there ever any domestic issues between him and his father in the last couple of years, like any calls for service to the residents that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of with respect to his father.
Anybody involving him?
There is a report at one time that he had assaulted his mother.
You know when that was?
It was approximately 2 years ago.
Is anyone who he went to Texas with, have you spoken with them or have they reached out to you?
I'm not going to get into a lot of the details of who we are and are not interviewing. There have been people, friends of his, who have been interviewed at this point. Obviously, the investigation is going to continue, and we've still have a lot of people to visit with before we complete that. But at this time, there have been a couple of people that were with him that have been contacted.
He owed $3,000 to who?
I don't know the name of the company. It's a loan shark company, a little loan company in Norman.
If it was a money issue, did he say anything about why he shot his sister?
No.
I thought you said so he would be the sole heir.
He would be the sole heir.
The firearm and the surveillance video will obviously be important as evidence. Have you been able to recover that from this said lake in Duncan?
We do not have them at this time.
Was the data not stored on an outside, like on a website somewhere, or is it all?
Not to our knowledge.
Has he shown remorse since he's been incarcerated?
I wouldn't call it remorse. I think the only remorse that we've seen out of him is that he's been caught and he knows he's got a lot of problems.
And he has no attorney, correct?
Not at this time, no. He has an attorney in his delayed sentencing case, but he does not have an attorney in the murder case, no.
That hearing will be December 4th?
I'm sorry?
That hearing will be on December 4th when it's presented.
That hearing was scheduled for November the 14th. It has been accelerated and will be held tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Your thoughts on how planned this was, parking down the street, waiting to kill his father to come home, taking the tapes, dumping them in the lake, going to pick up his cell phone back at OU? What are your thoughts when you think of someone so young thinking about this and planning this? Because it sounded like he planned this out for a while.
I think it was completely planned out, and I think it was something that he thought about, and I think that the evidence, once we go through the preliminary hearing and into trial, there will be evidence come out that shows that he did plan this and he did intend to do this.
Did he indicate why he decided to confess to the crime?
No.
How far away did he park before he walked to the home? About?
The
location's approximately a block, 2 blocks away.
There was a vehicle towed from in front of the house, a black Jeep that
Correct.
belonged to him. Was that something that he arrived on scene once he found out his parents were murdered and he was acting like he was just shown to the scene, or how did that vehicle get there?
He drove that vehicle to the scene. Now, I wouldn't necessarily characterize it as he came to the scene and then expressed remorse. I would characterize it as he came to the scene, and when he was approached, he was very nonchalant and I would say a little cold and kind of calloused. Especially now in hindsight, we know that he knew what was going on. And that vehicle has obviously been taken, is in storage right now and is being searched.
Was he initially contacted by your office because of the probation violation on Monday, or was there already some suspicion there?
No, we didn't reach out and contact him. He showed up on the scene. That's how we made contact with him Monday.
Are you going to seek the death penalty?
I think that's a subject that I'm going to have a long conversation with the family about. I'm not at this time ready to say yes. What I would say is I tend to be very aggressive in my prosecutions. I think this is a very, very heinous and atrocious crime. I think this shows the fact that there was no remorse. I think this shows that this kid is an evil person. And quite frankly, I think it's something that's going to have to seriously be considered. And you know, that decision will be made down the road. The bill of particulars does not have to be filed until prior to arraignment, so we've got a little bit of time to do that. And that's a conversation that I have to have with the family before we move forward with that aspect.
Jason, did the family indicate to you that he had expressed this type of, as you said, evil before this event?
Not to this, obviously not to this extent. No,
Do you know if the prior assault on his mother, did it have to do with some similar stuff, fighting about money? You know, it seems like a problem with this guy.
if memory serves me correct, yes, it had to do with money.
Did she have to be hospitalized or
No.
something treated?
No.
How difficult is it to prosecute a case like this where both the victims and the suspect is family, and you're having to obviously work with family who are sitting behind you very upset this moment?
It obviously makes it very difficult. It's obviously a situation that you hope you never have to face, but we're there. And we'll do everything we can for this family to stand behind them and do them and work with them and support them. But we also have to balance that with what does justice require in this case? What does justice demand in this case? And that's something that we'll have to work through as we go forward.
You said that he killed his mother and his sister pretty much right away when he arrived at the home. And then do you know about how long he waited for his father to arrive? I didn't catch that.
I do not know the time frame. No.
But it happened Thursday evening, right?
That is correct.
And then when it comes to the spectrum of Duncan being in the spotlight, both nationally and internationally, obviously Chris Lane, and then other murders that have happened in town, where does this lie? Is this something that has shocked you?
Well, yeah, obviously. I think it's shocking to everybody involved. And I think one of the things that makes it a little more difficult is the fact that we all knew John, we all knew Tinker, we all knew Catherine. In the press conferences that we had with those cases, Tinker's been there, John's been there, so we've had those conversations in the past with him. Yeah, Duncan's obviously faced with another tragedy, and it's going to take a while for the community to get over it.
Sir, I'm sorry, it's my last question. During the weekend when he was gone, he stayed at a very high-end hotel in Dallas. Do you have any indication about how much money he spent or took to finance that weekend?
No, he stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and that's part of what we continue to investigate this time.
Were you able to determine if he took anything from the home after the murders?
There's no indication that anything outside of the gun and the DVD or the DVR was taken.
When he showed up and you said it was kind of cold and callous, at any point was he trying to act like he didn't do it?
Well, obviously, as he goes through this, there would have been times that he was visiting with detectives trying to convince them that he didn't do this. So, yeah, I think there are going to be times that he was putting on a show. I don't think there's any question about that. The portions of the videos that I've seen up to this point, I would characterize any tears that he shed, that they were crocodile tears. It wasn't remorse because I've lost my mom, my dad, and my sister. It's remorse because he knows that his life is basically over and he's going to be either incarcerated or he's going to be on death row.
At any point, did he ever try to point the finger at somebody else or lead the investigation in a different direction?
No.
Switching gears just for a second, he was originally booked on the concealing stolen property. How did his stolen checks play into all of this?
About the only thing that I want to say with regard to that issue is it gave us the ability and gave us the reason to house him here in the Stephens County Jail. The crimes are real. He confessed to them. He also confessed to several probation violations, so it was very beneficial to us to have that and be able to hold him in the Stephens County Jail until such time as we got to the point where we could file a murder charge.
Is his family cooperating?
Yes.
Just one last question about the hotel. Do we know if he tried to pay for all that himself, or whether a group of friends did it, or he was just staying there with people?
I can't answer that at this time.
Was the trip itself a violation of his probation?
Yes. He's not supposed to leave the state of Oklahoma, nor is he supposed to engage in drinking. There are several things. There's standard rules and conditions of probation. He violated several of them. So.
You said he left his cell phone at OU?
Yes.
When he returned. Was that part, you think, of being able to later say, I was here the whole time, I wasn't back in Duncan?
Yes, in fact, he told investigators that's why he left it there, because he knew they would be able to, what we refer to as ping. We would be able to ping his phone and track his location based upon that.
Do you know about how long he was questioned or interrogated and by whom? I'm not clear to it.
At this point, I don't know that I want to comment on that.
Going back to Thursday night, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. Do you guys get any reports of shots being heard or anything like that from neighbors?
No. No, and the interviews that we've done with neighbors, there's no indication that anybody heard a gunshot that night.
Did anyone call, like, on Friday saying, was anyone concerned that they had seen John and Tinker at work on Friday? Duncan police had gotten any calls from Marlowe?
As far as law enforcement agencies go, there were no reports to any law enforcement agencies that there may be something wrong. I do know that Catherine was not in school, and the school made attempts to track her down by trying to contact the parents, and obviously they couldn't do that. So, any other questions? Okay.
Yes, sir. This is my wife, Ron. The firearm, it was stolen from his parents' home, reported stolen by his dad.
On Thursday,
Do you know
correct.
what firearm that was?
It was a Walther 9mm.
Did you say whether it's connected to the one that was actually used?
It was,
And you said his dad reported it stolen earlier that day?
correct.
And he reported that to Duncan Police Officer?
That's correct. Any other questions?
Well, just to be clear, in his confession, he said he did use the stolen firearm.
Yes, he did.
Is there any indication of how long he'd been planning this?
At least the day before. We know for sure that he started thinking about it and planning it on Wednesday.
Is it your opinion he was under the influence of anything throughout all this?
No. There's no indication to us that he was under the influence of anything while this happened.
Did he say what he owed? I know he said he owed $3,000 to a loan shark company, but what he owed the money for?
No, just that he owed the money.
Any word on what kind of person he was before this crime? Because we've heard reports of an Instagram page called the Duncan Burn Book where he basically dissed the community, friends, that kind of thing. Anything that you've heard about him as a person from people you've talked to?
Well, I've heard a lot of stuff, and I'm going to temper my answer like this. I'm not really going to get into that because a lot of what I've been told, it's hearsay. I know there were a lot of concerns at one time about him because of issues just like that right there. There was never a report presented to us or anything along those lines regarding some of those things. So, I have a 16-year-old child as well, so I have a tendency to hear some things. But as you start to look at those, it was nothing more than John told Tom, who told Sally, who told Sue, and there really wasn't anything that we could ever sink our teeth into.
Did you say you have talked to the people that he went to the game with?
I'm sorry?
Did you say you have talked to the people he went to the game with?
I believe there have been at least one of those people that's been interviewed at this time, but again, the investigation continues, and there's a lot of stuff for us to do. So to specifically say exactly who it was, which witnesses are being interviewed, I'm not in a position to be able to offer that to you right now.
Did they say at all just that he was acting different?
No.
You know if you had talked to anybody else about this plan to?
We don't have any information at this time that indicates that he revealed the plan to anybody or admitted to anybody after the fact that he had done this.
Did you say 3,000 or 30?
3.
3.
Yes, 3.
And you don't know how he funded the trip down to Dallas?
Not yet. Any answer to that question at this time would be speculation.
Were there any signs of struggle?
No. No signs of struggle, no signs of forced entry, nothing along those lines inside the house.
So would the victims have seen him before he shot them?
It's possible, but I don't think it's very highly likely that they saw them.
You know if he's under the influence of drugs, anything like that?
Nothing that we're aware of, no.
Were the family dogs, were they killed too?
No, absolutely not. All the family pets, all of the pets were in as good a condition as they could be after being in the house for 4 or 5 days. Any other questions?
Is there a copy of the affidavit?
Yes, it's available. Yeah, I was going to say, you can either get it from the court clerk's office or my office, either one, but those are public record now, yes.
And the official charge is 3 counts of murder?
3 counts of murder. That will carry a penalty of life without parole, or the death penalty. And
What
just-
lake was it?
I'm sorry?
Lake?
I'm not going to comment on that.
What was all dropped off there, though? Thrown in the lake?
One of the local lakes, yes.
What did he drop off?
The gun and the DVR, the recording device for the video surveillance cameras at the house.
Is there any reason why they had video surveillance?
I think in my answer to that, any answer I would give you on that would just be sheer speculation. I'm not sure.
And have you really seen where they were shot?
Tinker was shot once in the upper neck area and once in the head. John was shot once in the neck and once in the head. And Catherine was shot once in the head. Total of 5 shots.
Do you have evidence, that he might have looked up how to kill someone?
Not at this time, no.
Was he aware of the inheritance and how much he would get, or was he just speculating?
I think he would have been aware of their assets. Any other questions? Thank you for being here. My office is open, and I believe we have affidavits and information there available for everybody, or you can pick those up at the court clerk's office. Thank you.